Coming up, new details in a deadly shooting investigation. What sheriff's deputies are saying about the fatal shots fired at a Manatee County bar. Plus, why one Sarasota City Commissioner is now asking for an apology after an outburst at a meeting earlier this week. Where parents can get their kids free immunizations in Manatee County ahead of the upcoming school year. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us today at noon. Our top story, new details on a deadly bar fight last month in Bradenton. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office now saying more than one person fired a gun. The gang-related shooting happened outside of Tommyknockers. Gabriel Conde was killed 2 days shy of his 40th birthday. He was also a member of the West Side local street gang and had been drinking at the bar with at least 2 other men. Investigators say his group of friends and another man got into a fight. They took that argument outside where shots were fired. Last week, the reward for information was increased to $8,000. Since then, the Sheriff's Office has received additional tips, but still no solid leads. Northport police need your help finding a wallet thief. Take a look. Police posting on Twitter, the man in these photos stole a person's wallet and then used the victim's debit card to go on a shopping spree, ending at Walmart where the card was declined. Police say he then stole the items anyway. Contact Northport PD if you recognize him. School security continues to be the hot topic of discussion across the country and at the Sarasota County School Board meetings. In the coming days, the district will be making offers to 21 school resource officers and 3 sergeants, which will supplement the county's elementary schools for the upcoming year. The other elements of creating its own police force includes buying vehicles for the SROs and adding an additional $400,000 to the safety security systems and salary structure for officers, which will range between $34,000 to $37,000 a year.
Having the money, having the salary schedules approved, having the approval to move forward with the purchases, all of those, every single piece along the way is important.
A rocky relationship between Superintendent Todd Bowden and Sarasota County Sheriff Tom Knight has kept them from finalizing plans regarding the school resource officers. The school district has invited the sheriff to a special meeting on June 28th where board members hope to finish working things out, and the sheriff has accepted that invitation. Happening today, the Manatee County Health Department is kicking off a series of school vaccination clinics, hoping to help parents get a head start on getting their kids ready for the upcoming school year. ABC 7's Marla Spence is at the South Florida Museum in Bradenton to explain.
If you thought it was too early to get a head start on preparing your kids for the upcoming school year, well, think again. The health department in Manatee County says parents should start now by making sure their kids are ready with up-to-date shots. The Manatee County Health Department is lending a helping hand. Starting today, the department will be offering vaccinations and school physicals to students from elementary to high school. The school physicals are $30 per child, but the vaccinations are free. I spoke to Donna Priest, who is the Executive Community Health Nursing Director at the Health Department. She tells us kindergartners, 7th graders, new and transferring students must all provide proof of immunization to enroll into Manatee County schools. Priest says although immunization shots may not be favorable among some parents, they are a way to help prevent an outbreak of viruses and diseases. She also says it's important for public health, especially in a school setting.
There are some people who are unable to be vaccinated due to autoimmune issues or severe allergies. We're also protecting those people.
Today is not the only day the health department in Manatee County is offering free vaccinations to kids ahead of the school year. There'll be several other dates and locations, and you can find them on our website, mysuncoast.com. I'm Marla Spence reporting in Manatee County for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Marla, thank you so much. New at noon, a Sarasota City Commissioner is asking for an apology from one of his colleagues after some controversial comments earlier this week during a commission meeting. ABC 7's Ray Collins has the story now. Ray?
Scott, the topic was moving city elections from March to November. Supporters recently submitted a decide the date petition with thousands of names. They feel moving the elections will triple the turnout for city races. The commission still has to approve the proposed referendum. But Commissioner Willie Shaw is against moving the elections and didn't like the options for various wording. We're going to play you his comment in full, followed by reaction from Commissioner Hagan Brody.
Commissioner Shaw.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm one of them little colored folks that all you white folks done spoke for that don't understand none of this. Since all y'all have spoken, told me how many of us are going to vote for y'all and for everybody else, but ain't nobody explained nothing to me. I can't see what A, B, nor C does for me. I'm just a bit confused here, because it's not clear, it's not concise. None of this here fits me at all. But unless some of y'all white folks can come back down here and tell me more about this, I wouldn't vote for none of this. I would rather see this go for contingents. And I'm done.
It was, frankly, disgusting, and I think the ironic aspect of it was that not only has the NAACP supported this effort, the Democrat Black Sarasota-Bradenton Caucus has endorsed this effort, and there were more African-American people that signed the petition than that voted in the last city election. So I think it's completely misguided. I thought the language that he used was disgusting and frankly should apologize.
We called Commissioner Shaw for his reaction to Brody's reaction. We'll have that for you hopefully today at 5 and 6. Scott?
All right, Ray, thank you so much. Let's check on our Wednesday weather with meteorologist John Scalzi. And another steamy one on the way, I guess, huh?
It is. We got one shower yesterday. Really produced a lot of thunder, lightning, pretty good downpours of rain, but it was only one. Today, maybe we get 4 or 5.
Okay.
A little bit better, a little bit better. We like that cooling rain. And sure, that one shower was actually over my house, and it felt really good, so it was kind of nice.
You're a lucky one.
Yeah.
I didn't get any rain at mine.
None at all?
No.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. We have some pretty quiet conditions across the area now. St. Pete, though, boy, they are getting hit hard with rainfall. One slow-moving storm after another, just pounding them. We're getting a little bit of cloud cover building, but really that's about it. Not much more than that. I think we'll probably have a chance of about 30% or so of seeing storms build. We may see a coastal shower or two. That's possible, but I think more likely we'll see the showers building in inland areas east of the interstate and continue to drift further and further toward the center of the state, away from the coastline. Right now, the biggest of the storms have been up to the north around the Big Bend region, back toward the Nature Coast. That's where they're seeing the bigger thunderstorms erupt. Old boundaries there, deep tropical moisture. Locally, temperatures are closing in on that 90 mark, so it'll be another hot, steamy afternoon. We'll have those details for you coming up in a few, Scott.
John, thank you. Happening today, it's World Refugee Day. The number of displaced people across the globe has hit an all-time high, now reaching more than 68 million. A new report by the United Nations shows 1 in every 110 people in the world is now a refugee, meaning they are internationally displaced or seeking asylum. The countries with the most refugees: Syria, Afghanistan, South Sudan, Myanmar, and Somalia. The U.S. has received the most new asylum claims recently, followed by Germany, Italy, and Turkey. New details out of Washington, where President Trump met with House Republicans Tuesday as members of his own party continue calling for an end to his zero-tolerance immigration policy. ABC's Janae Norman explains why so far the president is refusing to undo it, instead demanding Congress fix the problem.
An emotional morning on Capitol Hill.
I would go to the borders. I'd get arrested again.
Lawmakers joined by dozens of children, calling attention to the more than 2,300 migrant children separated from their families in just over a month at the southern border. And now word the Trump administration has set up so-called tender age shelters to house infants and toddlers.
Shame on you for letting this happen, for being willing to let kids be kept in warehouses because you can't stand up to this president.
The outcries follow President Trump's trip to Capitol Hill to meet House Republicans. Opposition mounting, even from within the president's own party, unanimously agreeing separating families at the border must end.
All of the members of the Republican conference support a plan that keeps families together.
But the president is standing firm.
I don't want children taken away from parents. And when you prosecute the parents for coming in illegally, which should happen, you have to take the children away.
Continuing to repeat the false claim that it's a law only Democrats can fix, saying they, quote, want illegal immigrants, no matter how bad they may be, to pour into and infest our country.
We don't think people should be separated at the border, families should be, but we should also not make the government have to choose between whether to support the law, secure the border, and keep families intact.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says the House will vote tomorrow on legislation to end family separation. At this point, it doesn't appear the bill has enough votes to pass, but Ryan says he's hopeful. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
Aside from the question of just how to fix the issue of separating families, the other question being asked is just how did we get here? ABC 7's Stephanie Webb is here to explain. Stephanie?
Thanks, Scott. Well, the answer to that actually goes way back, farther than you may realize. It goes all the way back to March of 2005. President George W. Bush launched Operation Streamline, referring illegal immigrants for criminal prosecution as a deterrent at the Texas border. Now, this operation is what Trump's current model is based on. Even President Obama used this model as well, but both Bush and Obama chose to detain families together while in custody. Now, fast forward to March of last year. As a deterrent, the administration confirmed they were considering separating families that try to enter the country illegally. Then in April, Attorney General Jeff Sessions sent a memo to federal prosecutors telling them to make immigration violations a top priority. Then in December, civil rights lawsuits are filed against Homeland Security on behalf of several families that had just been separated at the border. Now, in April of this year, Sessions issues a new memo to federal prosecutors instituting the zero-tolerance policy for illegal entry into the U.S., no longer exempting families traveling together from criminal prosecution. Then June 15th, Homeland Security confirms that just over 1,900 kids had been separated from their parents. Now yesterday, Republicans proposed changing the amount of time that kids can be held alone. If it's longer than 20 days, their proposal says that they have to be held with their parents. So here's another question. Has this zero-tolerance policy been a deterrent so far? Well, according to the numbers provided by the U.S. Border Control, the number of people caught at the U.S.-Mexico border has actually steadily gone up over the past few months, from almost 26,000 in January to just over 37,000 in March to just over 40,000 in May. Back to you, Scott.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you so much. For more on the latest breaking news on this issue and many more, and what's happening here on the Suncoast and your forecast, you can download our app. Just find it in your app store. Look for WWSB or My Suncoast. Still to come in your Suncoast news, how CVS is changing the way to get your prescriptions with a new home delivery service. And then later, Amazon taking a unique approach to fashion. How you can now try on clothes before you buy them.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running, and right now, you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $229 a month, or get 0% financing with zero down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day?
With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, it doesn't take much sunshine at this time of year to boost the temperatures up to now 88 degrees. We do have a little bit of a shift in the wind taking place. We're now out of the west-southwest actually, coming in at about 7. That'll start to push our shower and thunderstorm activity into inland areas this afternoon. I think that west wind will continue to be enhanced at first by a relatively calm surrounding airflow, so that little sea breeze circulation will be kind of uninhibited today and be able to push pretty far inland. Dew point value coming in at 75 right now. Again, a really high dew point value, giving us lots of moisture in the air, lots of humidity, and feels like temperatures well up into the upper 90s to near 100. 91 degrees, current air temperature, about 30% chance of shower. 91, the forecast high temperature, I believe, coming in at about 30% chance of showers by about 3 p.m. Those showers, I think, will form in near the interstate and then be pushed further and further into inland areas. Now, I put 91 as our daytime high temperature, but I think in inland areas, east of the interstate, you might hit 93, maybe 94 degrees for a daytime high. Then temperatures start to decrease as we head into the evening hours down into the 80s. We've had some persistent rainfall over Pinellas County, and they do have a flood warning up there, an urban flood warning, because they've had up to 3-inch rainfalls, and they could see some more rainfall leading to some minor flooding issues there on some of the streets and roadways. Some of the outflow from those persistent storms may help to trigger off a couple of showers closer to the coastline in Manatee County over the next few hours. We got one just over the Skyway Bridge. One little shower trying to pop up in Northport. Other than that, pretty quiet right now. We do have some clusters of showers kind of in the dissipating stage to the north where there's a little trough of low pressure. All of these things combining to eventually help bring our winds more out of the west. Right now, the very dry air indicated here by 10 that was over us yesterday has kind of moved on past, and we're starting to moisten the atmosphere just a little bit. Most of the Gulf water's quiet. Over here near Texas, there still are some showers in progress. As that high sinks south, our winds are calm today. Then as we head into the next 24 hours, we develop this westerly wind flow, which should push all the showers toward the coast. We're looking for a west wind coming at 10. I believe we have a special report now. We'll join that.
Policy separating children from their parents along the U.S.-Mexico border. I want to go straight to our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, who is standing by following this late-breaking news. John, the White House was really backed into a corner on this one. A lot of the president's critics, perhaps even his own allies, might say he caved.
And what I'm told, Cecilia, is that what the president is, what they've been preparing for him to sign is something that would allow those kids to remain in detention with their parents or with their family members while they are awaiting the court hearing. So this is not a complete solution to this. This basically would allow those kids to remain in detention with their families, but it would be subject to challenge in the courts. Unclear, very much unclear whether or not this is truly a solution to this crisis.
And we are seeing those images right there on our screen, John, playing out. Soon we will be hearing from the president. He is speaking from the cabinet room here in the White House alongside some congressional members.
Let's take a listen. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll be leaving for Minnesota today. We have 2 stops, one a very big one, and it'll be a lot of fun. I know a lot of you are going with us, so that'll be interesting. We're meeting right now on immigration, and we are very strong at the border. We're very strong on security. We want security for our country. The Republicans want security and insist on security for our country, and we will have that At the same time, we have compassion. We want to keep families together. It's very important. I'll be signing something in a little while that's going to do that. And the people in this room want to do that. And they're working on various pieces of legislation to get it done. But I'll be doing something that's somewhat preemptive, but ultimately will be matched by legislation, I'm sure. We're having a lot of problems with Democrats. They don't want to vote for anything. They don't care about lack of security. They really would like to have open borders where anybody in the world can just flow in, including from the Middle East, from anybody, anywhere. They can just flow into our country. Tremendous problems with that, tremendous crime caused by that. We're just not going to do it. I do want to say that because we're all so busy, and I just mentioned to the congressmen and the senators in the room that we are going to cancel and postpone tomorrow's congressional picnic. We have a congressional picnic tomorrow, and I was just walking over to the Oval Office and I said, you know, it doesn't feel right to have a picnic for Congress when we're working on doing something very important. We have many things that are important. We're talking about trade, we're talking about many, many things, but it didn't feel exactly right to me. So we will be officially postponing the congressional picnic for tomorrow. We'll make it another time when things are going extremely well. And they are going for the country extremely well. We have record-setting numbers in every way economically, but we want to solve this immigration problem, which is going on for 40 years more. It's been going on forever. And we want to see if we can solve it. So we are canceling or postponing the congressional picnic tomorrow. Would anybody in the room have any question or statement that you'd like to make while the press is here? Anybody? Anybody?
I'll say one, Mr. President.
Yeah,
you know, on the issue of immigration, trade, and investment, these are all areas where Congress has a lot of authority under the Constitution, and you have authority. The executive branch has authority under the Constitution. I think that's why meetings like this are really important, bringing the leadership on both sides together because they're important issues. So appreciate the opportunity to let you see our views, hear our views on these issues where we share authority on important matters. Thank you.
And we all very much have the same views. We want to keep family together. At the same time, we have to be strong on the border. Otherwise, you'll have millions of people coming up, not thousands like we have now. You'll have millions of people flowing up and just overtaking the country. And we're not letting that happen. So we have to be very strong on the border. But at the same time, we want to be very compassionate. Yes, Lamar?
Mr. President, thanks for having us. I think what Dan said was good. We really have, on the issues on trade, on immigration, we have a partnership under the Constitution. We have some authority. The President has some authority. We need to work together. I was thinking this morning when we look at President Nixon's portrait in the White House, we think that he did the unexpected and he went to China because he could do that. He was in a position to do it. And President Reagan did the unexpected. He went to the Berlin Wall in Moscow. And when we were here a year ago, I think I suggested to you that immigration, which has bedeviled us for 40 years, as you've said, I believe you're the president who can help us solve the immigration problem with your leadership. You may be able to do for immigration what Nixon did for China and Reagan did for the Soviet Union. And a lot of us would like to work with you on that.
Thank you, Lamar, very much. We need the Democrats' support because we need their votes. It's very simple. You know, people say we have a majority. Well, we have a one majority in the Senate. We need 60. Unfortunately, we don't go with the majority. We go with 60. Someday somebody will explain why, but that's the way it is. We need 60 votes. We have 51 votes at the most. So we need Democrat votes in order to do it. Otherwise, you can't do it. Tom, you were going to say something?
I think it's very important that we protect our border. We cannot allow a child to be a get-out-of-jail-free card and a get-into-the-U.S. free ticket. But at the same time, as you said, as we've all said, we'd like to keep families together, keep them together at the border for the orderly and timely processing of the adult's immigration claim. If it's a lawful, legitimate claim, we can admit the family into the country. If not, they'll have to go back to their home country. I'm glad you're looking for a solution for that. I know that we in Congress are working on legislation that will allow our hardworking Border Patrol agents to keep families together at the border while we process their claims in a timely fashion.
And you bring up something that I have to say. Our Border Patrol agents and our ICE agents have done one great job. ICE is we're throwing by the thousands MS-13. They come into the country. we're liberating towns on Long Island and other places. We're throwing them out by the thousands, but we need laws that don't allow them to come back in. Mac, you've been very involved in this issue. Do you have anything to say?
Well, Mr. President, there are a number of issues that we're going to be able to discuss today that touch on our country's national security. And certainly controlling who and what comes across our border is an element of national security, as we do the compassionate thing with families. And I look forward to working with you to further strengthen our military. Together, we have turned around a declining situation, but that's also part of what we need to do together. Back to Lamar's point about we both have responsibilities, we can do more together.
I will say, with all of the numbers that you see, if we weren't strong on the border, you'd have hundreds of thousands of people pouring through the border. They'd just be pouring through, and the country would not be the country anymore. Lindsey?
We've got a big, massive mess that's been going on for decades, and we're all going to fix it one day, I hope. But we've got a specific problem that puts the country in a dilemma. Here's your dilemma, it's President Obama's dilemma, our dilemma. If a family shows up at the border and we let the family go into the country and say, please come back for your hearing, about 80% of the time, the adults never show up for the hearing. I think most Americans feel like that is bad. It will create a third wave of illegal immigration. I want to be fair to the people who came here under the old system, but I don't want to create incentives to create a third wave. The other choice is if you detain the parents who broke the law under the Flores decision, you have to break the family up. So there's a 1997 Supreme Court case that we got to deal with. So I would urge my Democratic friends to see if we can find a way to keep families together, have a legislative fix to the Flores decision, and argue about the other things later. Because right now, Mr. President, you're in a real bind. If you detain the adults, the law requires the children to be separated. If you let the adults into the country, they never show up. Seems to me that we want to keep the family together and have the parents show up for their day in court. To Senator Schumer, I know there's a lot we don't agree on, but surely to goodness we can fix this court decision because the country's in a bad spot, not just you.
Mr. President? Well, Lindsey, the dilemma is that if you're weak, which some people would like you to be, if you're really, really pathetically weak, the country's going to be overrun with millions of people. And if you're strong, then you don't have any heart. That's a tough dilemma. Perhaps I'd rather be strong, but that's a tough dilemma. Yes, go ahead, Ron.
In our committee, Homeland Security, we've held 30 hearings on border security. And you know how much I like data. And you know, Senator Graham mentioned the fact that we have these incentives. There's nothing compassionate, by the way, of enticing people to take a very dangerous journey on a train they call the Beast, or through the desert. We've seen the pictures of dead, desiccated bodies in the desert. There's nothing compassionate about that. But here's what's happened since 2012, since DACA. Just talk about unaccompanied children. Prior to that, somewhere between 3,000 or 4,000 unaccompanied children from Central America came into this country. Then DACA was instituted in 2012, and that problem skyrocketed. The numbers on it, about 225,000 unaccompanied children just from Central America, about almost 500,000 family members. So we've got another 750,000 individuals, very sympathetic, that we're just incentivizing for coming, and we have to stop. We have to stop those incentives. Our goal of our policy should be to reduce the flow of people incentivized to come in this country, and that's what strong enforcement actually does.
So just so everybody knows, this deal was just about done. We had a deal signed. President Obama signed DACA. When he signed it, he said, I'm really not allowed to sign this, and I'm going to sign it anyway. But he actually said, I'm not allowed to sign this. It's never going to hold up. And they got a judge who held it up, and they got another one who held it up. Then we had a couple that turned it down, and it's going to be a Supreme Court issue. But before it was held up, everyone assumed that the DACA would not be held up, and we had a deal with the Democrats. It was a deal that everybody agreed to. It was $25 billion. We were going to build a wall. We would take care of many, many different things, including loopholes. It was all done, except when this judge ruled in favor of DACA, meaning that it could continue until we get to the Supreme Court, all of a sudden, they weren't there anymore. And that's what happened. And that's why we're in this mess, because we had a couple of court decisions, which is going to force an issue to the Supreme Court that shouldn't be forced to the Supreme Court. Yes, John?
Thanks for inviting us up on these important
And that again is President Trump just moments ago here at the White House with that breaking news announcing that he will soon bring an end and sign perhaps an executive order of sorts to that controversial policy, his policy that has been separating migrant children from their parents along the U.S.-Mexico border. The president there was joined by members of Congress. He said that he didn't have Democratic support. He admitted this, but he also did not have Republican support on this one. The Senate had said that Republicans in that House were unanimously against this policy of separating children. The president just yesterday had said that this was a problem only Democrats could fix. And now it seems that he is bringing an end to that on his own, as even his own allies has said that he was able to do with simply a phone call. The president also saying that this was a big dilemma. If you're weak, potentially millions of people could come into this country. He says he would rather be strong. We will soon go to our Gio Benitez, who is standing by along the U.S.-Mexico border, following this story very closely. But I want to begin by going back to our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl. John, the president said it. This was a dilemma that followed and a controversy that engulfed this White House here on the grounds and beyond, with that video of just last night, the Homeland Security Secretary going out to dinner at a Mexican restaurant with protesters shouting her down.
Indeed, and the Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen said on Monday that Congress alone can solve this problem, that the White House's, the administration's hands were tied on this. In terms of what the president is going to sign, I just spoke, Cecilia, with somebody involved in the drafting of this executive action, and what I am told is it will not end the zero-tolerance policy. You will still have those that are apprehended at the border and claim asylum will still be held in detention. Currently, because of a court decision many years ago, children can only be held for 20 days in detention, for 20 days, after which point they must be separated and put into a facility from Department of Health and Human Services. What this executive action would do is it would allow the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, to hold these children in detention facilities with their family members while they await the hearing on their asylum claims. So this is not a full solution to this. It does not end zero tolerance, but it basically allows those children to remain with their parents in detention while they await their hearings.
But again, it is those images, John, that we are seeing right there beside you that have been so controversial, of seeing those children separated from their parents. John Karl, thank you. I want to turn to our Gio Benitez now, who is standing by on the border in El Paso, Texas. Gio, any word yet? This is breaking news, but any word yet on how this is playing there among those families?
You know, I can imagine that a lot of these children's advocates are going to be very happy about this, because we're talking about more than 2,300 children that were recently separated, children that we know about, at least, that were recently separated from their families there at the border. And these children's advocates have been saying, what does this do to the mind of a child? In fact, these children so young that now, just before Good Morning America this morning, we learned about what's called a tender age shelter. We know that there are 3 of them that have now been built, that have now been opened up, these tender age shelters. And those are going to be housing children that are babies, we're told, toddlers, and a lot of kids with special needs. And so children's advocates were looking at that and saying, wait a minute, what is that about? In fact, one of the volunteers actually came out of one of those facilities this morning and said that the children inside were praying to see their mom or dad.
Heartbreaking images. Great reporting down there, Gio. Our thanks to you. Our thanks to John Karl. We will be following this story throughout the course of the day. Of course, we will have more this evening on World News Tonight with David Muir, and you can follow our digital coverage, which will continue now and throughout the day. For now, I'm Cecilia Vega reporting in from the White House. Have a good day.
This has been a special report from ABC News.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair? The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds. No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
The summer sizzles at the Players Center with the opening of Crossing Delancey. City cultures collide in this charming play about a young woman searching for love and the New York dream. Opening June 14th, call 365-2494 or visit theplayers.org. Get your tickets to the perfect romantic comedy, Crossing Delancey.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone.
Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
Coming up, a warning for joggers, what a woman says she did to prevent her own kidnapping. Plus, much needed relief finally on its way to Lido Beach, what crews plan to do about the major erosion problem there. And also almost a month into hurricane season, why mental health experts are warning to be on the lookout for possible symptoms of PTSD during the next big storm.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. Our top story this half hour, a safety alert you need to hear about involving a jogger caught on camera fighting off her assailant. ABC's Maggie Rulli explains what that brave woman is saying as she tells her story for the first time about escaping her attacker.
Police are calling it a brazen assault and attempted abduction, stopped by the woman who was meant to be the victim.
It was kind of a moment of, yeah, some fear, but also this, I'm not going to let this happen. This is not how my story ends.
She was out jogging in broad daylight down a busy street in Bridgewater, Massachusetts on Sunday morning, when suddenly a car pulls up, a man gets out and runs towards her.
I instantly had a feeling that wasn't good.
The woman, who asked that we not show her face, shared her experience exclusively to ABC News.
I kept thinking this isn't happening. He unfortunately grabbed both arms, tried to pull me towards him and kind of towards the vehicle.
But the 37-year-old fought back.
I just kept kicking back behind me. I'm not even sure I was making contact with him.
He stumbles, falling to the ground as neighbors rush out to help.
He was grabbing her. I think he wanted to try to put her in the car. I was saying, hey, what's going on?
The alleged attacker then takes off at high speed, but not before the woman takes a photo of his license plate.
She had the presence of mind to use her phone to take a picture, which was invaluable in helping to identify and capture the individual.
Police quickly identifying the alleged attacker as Gordon Lyons, who was previously convicted of rape in 1978. On Tuesday, the 57-year-old hid under a sheet during his arraignment in the hospital, entering a plea of not guilty. The woman says she's still shook up, but keeps reminding herself that only one person tried to attack her, but more than 20 tried to help her. She's also already been back out on the streets jogging, only this time it was with a police escort. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Well, here on the Suncoast, the Assistant Superintendent of Sarasota County Schools is retiring. The school board honoring Scott Lempe Tuesday at a meeting. Superintendent Todd Bowden gave him the school district recognition coin. Lempe thanked board members and even got emotional talking about his time with the school district. Lempe has worked for Sarasota County Schools for 15 years. Before retiring, Lempe is still doing his part for the district, including being an active voice in the School Avenue discussion at Sarasota High School. Lempe joined the high school's principal and others to figure out what to do with the street that cuts right through the middle of Sarasota High School's campus. The City Commission recently voted in favor of extending the time when School Avenue can be shut down for cars, pedestrians, and bicycle riders, now closing it from 6:30 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, which will begin this fall.
Solutions is how do you do that range from what we would like to see happen, permanent closure of the street. We would convert that into a courtyard bounded by 6-foot fences on both sides. We've heard ideas like put in walkways over top of the road and fence either side of the campus to tunnels underneath School Avenue.
School district will meet again next week to discuss the plan further with the community. All right, let's get another check on our weather now with meteorologist John Scalzi. And you were saying earlier, maybe a few more showers around today.
Yeah, we got a couple. We got a couple in progress right now, actually. They popped up in the last half hour, and they're pretty much in the areas where we thought they would build, which is basically inland, not right along the coast. Though certainly I can't rule out the possibility of one right along the coast, especially in Manatee County, but things right now are pretty quiet. Tower Cam showing a few of those fair weather clouds out there, and a lot of blue sky as well, so it's a pretty nice start to the day. You can see one of those showers down around Rotunda. That's probably the most significant one. There was one near Northport. It has since kind of died out, but besides that, we're looking at pretty quiet conditions across the Suncoast right now. We do have that cluster of showers to the north of us. That's a little area of low pressure, kind of a trough of low pressure that will be sinking southward, could enhance our rainfall just a little bit as well. But it's mostly sunshine and sea breezes that will kick off our shower and thunderstorm to the tune of about a 30% coverage. A little bit later on this afternoon, mostly inland, and then drifting further from the coast as we progress through the day. And that's after a daytime high comes in at about 91, I'd say, by 3 p.m. What feels like temperatures, again, warm, coming in over 100 feels like. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what to expect in terms of the weekend as well. It's not too early to talk about weekend. Coming up in just a minute. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. If you were here last September, you may remember feeling a little anxious before, during, and after Hurricane Irma. Experts say it's a form of post-traumatic stress disorder. Although it's calm right now, just the thought of a storm threatening Florida can cause some people stress. Mental health experts say being worried about storms is normal, so the best way to mentally prepare yourself is by planning ahead.
If this was going to happen, what steps might I take? I'm going to listen to the news, you know, they make the warning, where am I going to go? You know, all those things that we know we should do and prepare for. Sometimes people think, oh, it's not going to come, you know, we'll never have anything that big. But, you know, if you wait till the last minute, that's really where it kind of kicks in.
Donald says there's also a variety of mental health checklists you can review on the internet. And if a condition lasts longer than 2 to 4 weeks, she recommends contacting a mental health professional for help. A beach renourishment project for sand-depleted Lido Beach receives final approval. The city of Sarasota announcing its coastal permit that clears the way for the restoration project has been green-lighted. Now work can begin to protect that fast-eroding shoreline, although we don't know yet the exact date on when that work will begin. After the success of the inaugural Skyway 10K, organizers have announced there will be a second race. Thousands of runners and walkers hit the iconic Sunshine Skyway Bridge earlier this year to benefit military families. Through donations and race registrations, a $560,000 check was presented to the Armed Forces Foundation. Organizers say the second race will happen March 3rd of 2019. Registration will open later this summer. Coming up, we'll get back to John for a First Alert forecast, and we'll have more news right after this.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Hello, Mom.
Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs Right at Home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires. Whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call Right at Home. Get the right care right at home.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's at FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
88-degree air temperature, winds now out of the west-southwest, coming in at about 7. We have some sunshine, but we also have some fair weather clouds building out there, and the dew point value is still very warm at 75, bringing very sticky, feels like temperatures to the area. 91, our forecast high by 3 p.m. with a 30% chance of showers. That'll be mostly in inland areas drifting away from the coastline. The rain chances diminish as we move through time as the daytime heating kind of fades and those showers continue to drift further away from the coast. Put it at about 20% by 7 p.m. The latest from Mote Marine in terms of the irritants in the air as a result of red tide near the beaches. Siesta Key coming in at light, so is Nokomis and Minnesota and Gasparilla, but Venice Beach has been upped, according to the Mote Marine spotters, to a moderate level of irritation due to the red tide. Respiratory irritation. So, well, that of course is something that is very much in flux and changes from day to day and really from hour to hour, depending on the drift of the red tide and the kind of storms that are about. Actually, we have one shower, as I mentioned, down to the south, one little area popping up again here in Northport. Very light rainfall, nothing heavy here, but these showers will continue to drift in a general drift toward the east as we progress through time. You know, we still have some fairly dry air aloft, although it has become a little bit more moist. We also have a ridge of high pressure, which is sinking south now, basically in line with us, or just a little to the south. And that will impact our weather today and for the next several days. First, with a light and variable flow that will allow the showers to continue to be pushed inland by an active sea breeze today. As that high sinks southward, the winds are light enough, the sea breeze can push those showers into inland areas. And then tomorrow, I think we'll start to see more of a westerly flow of air. With that westerly flow of air, we'll see the sea breeze be pushed even further inland so that most of the showers occur on the other coast. We'll watch showers in the morning near the coastline, followed by mostly inland showers in the afternoon. West wind comes in at about 10 knots, and the forecast for the week ahead looks pretty similar over the next several days. That is, daytime high temperatures top out near the 90-degree mark. First day of summer, you'll see a 90-degree daytime high. About a 20 to 30% chance of showers takes us really right through the weekend, I think. Maybe by Sunday we start to moisten things up just a little bit more, and by Monday I think a pretty good chance of showers and thunderstorms. And that chance of rain is also fairly decent as we head into Tuesday. Scott?
All right, John, thanks so much. In consumer news, Ford and Volkswagen could soon be teaming up. The two automakers said it would include the development of a range of commercial vehicles, but the potential merger would not involve taking any stake in each other's company. The announcement comes as Volkswagen still reels from a massive scandal that involved cheating on emissions tests with diesel vehicles. Ford, meanwhile, announced earlier this year it would stop selling most of its car models in North America to focus on larger vehicles. Disney is raising its bid to buy 21st Century Fox to more than $71 billion. The purchase would include Fox's movie studio along with the regional sports networks and cable channels. Disney's new offer is the latest in a bidding war, topping the $65 billion bid Comcast made last week. Initially, Disney offered more than $52 billion. That was back in December. Fox says it will consider offers from other companies, including any new offer from now Comcast. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a major milestone for Oprah Winfrey. Now she's making history on Bloomberg's Billionaire Index.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
I'll be right back.
Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
We are problem solvers striving for answers. Relevancy on every platform. We are driven to create content that's compelling, engaging, where it matters. We are neighbors that care about solutions, believers in making a difference, leaders, innovating in an exciting era of multimedia, reaching to always be the gold standard in our evolving landscape. We are Raycom Media. Find your opportunity today.
Hunger is a growing problem in our area, and a huge number of Suncoast residents are suffering in silence.
It could be your coworker,
your child's classmate,
or your friend fighting to secure their next meal. But you can help.
ABC7 is partnering with local organizations to help feed the Suncoast.
Go to mysuncoast.com/hunger to join the fight. Help us.
Help the hungry.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
In entertainment news, headlines ranging from a potential major movie clue to a musical mystery. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
So let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good.
There seems to be a plan for the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie after most of its stars were, spoiler, reduced to dust in Avengers: Infinity War. Responding to a Twitter question, writer-director James Gunn confirmed Guardians 3 will take place after the Marvel Universe-shaking events of Infinity War. Guardians 3 is due out in 2020, the sequel to Infinity War in 2019.
The bar is set pretty high.
Sam Mendes is going back to his roots. The director is set to make the World War I film 1917 for Steven Spielberg's Amblin Partners. Spielberg worked closely with Mendes on his first film, American Beauty, which won 5 Oscars, including Best Picture and Director for Mendes.
I like to be in America, okay by me in America.
Speaking of Oscars, West Side Story is back. The beloved musical, which won 10 Academy Awards, returns for a special engagement in more than 600 U.S. theaters on Sunday, June 24th and Wednesday, June 27th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Oprah Winfrey just joined a very exclusive club, the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, which is a list of the 500 richest people in the world. And currently, Oprah stands at number 494 and climbing, right behind Mark Cuban. She's worth a reported $4 billion thanks to a $427 million gain this year, due in part to her partnership with Weight Watchers. Oprah is also now the first black woman ever to make that list. Bradenton's Lee Com Park is once again claiming the title as the best high A ballpark from Ballpark Digest. That win came down to a fan vote, with Lee Com just edging out Winston-Salem's BB&T Field by only 28 votes. This past spring was the Pittsburgh Pirates' 50th spring training in Bradenton, and Lee Com has held the top spot among Florida spring training destinations since 2016. The Bradenton Marauders, by the way, kick off the second half of the Florida State League season this Thursday evening at 6:30. It's an awesome place to watch a baseball game.
Nice.
You can sit anywhere in that park now and have a great experience. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful place to watch a game.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a pretty nice day to be out and about, I think. We'll have, of course, the first day of summer tomorrow, and it will be appropriately warm for that event. Next week looks pretty warm as well.
Okay, John, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again at 5 o'clock.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Get to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota for big savings during the Chrysler Pacifica Incredible Sales Event. Get KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $23,999. Or save big and get the new Chrysler 300 Touring with an MSRP over $30,000 for just $21,999. That's a savings of over $8,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota today.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now.